Hello everyone, welcome to Dr. Rajkumar Academy. Welcome to the session on 12/11/2022. So guys, those interested for the test series can notify us. Now, Modi goes on inauguration spree in Bengaluru. Guys, this is election year, so these things will be there. Supreme Court orders release of all live convicts in Rajiv case. Because today the number of articles are very less. We can finish it very soon. But certain things I'll just tell you so that it would be easier for you to relate it. Because two issues are there in polity. One is governor versus the state government that is going on. Second is about the pardoning powers of the president and the role of executive. For example, if you see in Gujarat, in the Bilkis Bano case, the rapists were actually released. And now in Rajiv Gandhi's assassination case, it's been almost 30 years that the convicts were in jail, and now they have been released. Now the court has told that you have to release them immediately as well. Now, this is welcomed by Tamil Nadu because Tamil Nadu passed a resolution saying that they must be released. But the governor of Tamil Nadu had reserved the bill for central government because, this may be a sensible issue. But Supreme Court has told that we need to release them because 30 years is too much, right? So, Congress is criticizing about this particular order, but here we want to study about the pardoning powers of the president, pardoning powers of the governor. Fine, guys. These two in your Polity Lakshmikant book will be helpful. Centers silence on judicial postings condemnable. Supreme Court. See, guys, what happens whenever Supreme Court judges or High Court judges are appointed? Normally, it is Supreme Court which will send a list to the center, and the center will go through these lists and it will recommend accordingly. But central government is neither recommending nor saying anything. It is being silent and it is postponing the issue for long. So this clearly indicates that central government is not happy with the type of postings that are being made. But unfortunately, we cannot do anything in this matter because courts are very much anti, the executive interfering. In India, today we have reached a situation where Supreme Court can interfere in any matter, whereas, the parliament and the executive cannot interfere in the working of the Supreme Court. So when we talk about different executive, legislature, judiciary balance and checks, here the checks are happening for executive and legislature, but there are no checks happening for the judiciary. So they went for National Judicial Appointment Commission, but they again said others cannot interfere in the naming of the judges. So again, it was squashed down. So India is the only country where judges appoint themselves, and executive will select, but they don't have the right to reject as well. Fine. So always, guys, try to read about the appointment of the judges. Two important things from the politics. So this is very important. In a win-win, Punjab to supply paddy straw to fodder shortage hit Kerala. So, once it is being cut, it can be used as fodder. But unfortunately, in Kerala, it is not there. And in Punjab, they have excess. So, they are trying to send it from Punjab to Kerala so that, it can be balanced. So, this is extremely good. Yeah. Yes, in EWS verdict, discrimination antithetical to equality. I quote practicing one, not so important, you can leave it. Measuring trade, India's export import data should be consistent and its timing predictable. Actually, guys, before COVID, the way they used to give when exports are happening and imports are happening were different from what is happening now. So that's why don't read such things. It's not at all important for you. Autonomy oils the wheels of higher education excellence. Guys, let us talk about higher education in India. Guys. When we are talking about higher education in India, or from India, most of the people they go to Canada, US, UK, Australia for higher education. And today, even for MBBS and other things, they are going to China and other areas. So, one of the most important thing to ensure higher education efficacy in India is its autonomy. Most of the higher education in India is under the control of UGC, but UGC should give some sort of autonomy to the state boards, and within state boards you can also have private autonomous institutions, because if you look at Canada, US, or anywhere, these institutions are private and they have their own standards of excellence, because of which they are now able to compete at the world level. But unfortunately in India, that is not there. And there is opposition to higher education in India in a proper manner. So the article is trying to say that when we look at higher education policies, we need to bring some random changes. You see, guys, in the first paragraph here, world rankings in India, he is trying to argue that the 2023 edition of the QS World University Ranking reckons that three of India's higher educational institutions are among 200 of the world. Another three are counted among top 300, whereas two more in top 400. That is approximately we have only 8 institutions coming in 400 ranks of the world. This data will be helpful for you. Higher education, you can say that there are only 8 institutions which are among the top 400 institutions. And then the Times Higher Education ranking places only Indian institution among the top 400 of the world. So you can see, when we talk about IITs, IIMs, and all, even their rankings are very, very less. Funded through the UGC Commission, universities are all subject to a very strict regulatory regime. So this is what they're trying to tell. If you want to ensure that ours is in competition with others, then what is the key? Autonomy is the key. Because this is just a view, not required. I just wanted you to have these factual data. Fine. And then, guys, UGC has made a decision to remove the mandatory requirement of getting research papers published. See, guys, if you want to get good jobs after your MA, MPhil, PhD, and all, then it is mandatory that your jobs has to be, or whatever work you have done, that has to be published through some journals. So what is happening? These people are paying or are randomly getting all those articles published where there is no proper review. So UGC is trying to say that do research, that is more important rather than getting things published. So that is welcomed by a group of people. So nothing much, guys, don't worry. Supreme Court order, DMK hails the verdict, Aditya Thackeray joins, Jharkhand Assembly passes bill to raise reservation in government job to 77%. So yes, 50% is for SC, ST, CBCs, OBCs, and economically weaker section they are giving 10%, so together it will be 60%. Jharkhand is now trying to increase it to 77%. Now this will lead to again some problems because maximum that is being provided by the Supreme Court is 60%, and now if they increase again it will go to the court will tell it is unconstitutional or it is breaking the basic structure of the constitution, and again the same thing starts. Nothing much. Record seizure of cash liquor in pole bound Himachal. On the ground, Morbi Bridge tragedy, BJP workers stage protest, government starts drafting bill to add Hattis to ST list in Himachal. So guys, the government is planning to introduce a bill where certain communities will be made as STs, right? So you can see here Hattis, Hattes. You can write this down. Hattis in Himachal Pradesh, Narikovaran, 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 and Kurivikkaran in Tamil Nadu, Narikovaran, Kurivikkaran in Tamil Nadu, Binjia community in Chhattisgarh. Binjia community in Chhattisgarh. Fine, guys. This is very, very important for us. And remember, guys, whenever any community has to be added as an ST community, the president has to declare. Others cannot declare. State government has no role. It is the president who has to do it. Supreme Court extends protection for area around Shivling. Don't worry. Courts must take up civil suits against hate speech. Ex Supreme Court judge. It is the opinion, not the order. Altitude decides Simeon's attitude to diet. Guys, it is said that as you go above, the variety of food that these organisms normally consider will vary, right? The type of food they eat and all changes with altitude, is what it is trying to tell. You see here, differences in altitude make a primate species in the same Himalayan habitat choose between flowers and fruits as food options beyond their staple menu of leaves. Fine. So the meaning of this is the Himalayan grey langur is a colobine meaning leaf-eating monkey. It is considered an endangered species globally as its population is less than 1,500, mature individuals in 15 to 20 groups. Three primatologists studies the diet composition of five such groups, right? And they especially concentrated on two groups, one inhabiting the Kalatope forest at an average altitude of 2396 meters, and the other based in the Kajjar forest, which is at 2188 meters. The domains of the two groups were only 208 meters apart, but the altitudinal gap made huge difference with the monkeys took a break from feeding on the leaves of some 20 species of plants, while the Kalatope group satisfied their craving for something different by feeding on flowers. Kajjar group ate fruits for a change of taste. So guys, the meaning of this is As height increases, as height increases, normally the food these species would take would also vary. This is what it is trying to argue. Is this clear? As height increases, the type of food they consume also varies. I want you to make a small note. Environment and ecology. Himalayan grey langur or Chamba sacred langur is leaf-eating monkey. It is less than 1500 and mature individuals is 15 to 20. Then you need to study about Kajiyar Wildlife Sanctuary, Kalatope Forest. Next point, as we move above, that is with altitude, the type of food of the species would change. Next, guys, uh, just in geography through maps, you must remember Kherson is a place in Ukraine. Kherson is a place in Ukraine. Nothing much, guys. They will ask you uh, these places were in news. Which of the following pairs are properly matched? They will give you Kherson, Ukraine. So at that time, you must be aware that Kherson is a place in Ukraine. Nothing much. Yeah. Guys, uh, cryptocurrency means bitcoins and all. Now, these cryptocurrencies are not under the control of the central governments, because of which it is misused by certain people. So the US chief who has come, she is trying to argue with India that yes, we should come together and work together in identifying the problems associated with cryptocurrencies and how to deal with it. So they are also talking with respect to Financial Action Task Force and IMF so that they can work closer to ensure that cryptocurrencies are used effectively, but at the same time we are able to monitor them, because drug mafia, organized crime, terrorists, they are all using cryptocurrencies, which is a security threat for the world. Right? So guys, please read cryptocurrencies. That is a basic topic in your economy, right? So that should be good enough. Thank you.